How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to another edition of the podcast. My name is Ramon. This is Dad's podcast project. And today I wanted to talk about reading through the fine print. So let's go ahead and jump right into things. So my wife and I are actually getting ready to sign our son up for school, preschool. And one of the things that comes along with signing our child up for preschool is, you guessed it, a lot of paperwork. They sent us home, or they sent my wife really home with a form that we were supposed to go through before signing. And there's just a lot of fine print with it. And my suggestion to all of you out there is to read it cover to cover, front, back, forwards, upside downwards, whatever which way. This is all of the things that are very important in this document that you need to read. This isn't a terms of service for Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Don't just click okay. Don't just sign your name. You definitely need to take the time to read what it is that you're signing your child up for. And a lot of the things, they weren't too big of a deal. They state like the child's rights and saying that the school that we're sending him to is a I don't think it's capital punishment, but they don't spank and they don't inflict pain. At least that's what they say. I mean, we hear things in the news, so let's just be real. It does happen. Hopefully not at this school or this preschool. And that's just one of the things that it's comforting to read. It's comforting to know that that's in there. They also specify some of the ways that they do implement discipline, and those ways are timeouts. And the timeouts vary, so they are minute per age. So if your child's 2, then they're going to go in timeout for 2 minutes. Then the teacher comes back. They renegotiate on sort of shifting or changing their behavior, and then they're able to go back with the other students. Now, my son is 3.5-ish, and it's high time. I mean, I think he's ready to be out there and to socialize with other children in a classroom setting, and to really just learn what it is to navigate this whole realm of public space without us, and make friends and do crafts and have fun and play with other kids his own age. My wife is she's excited for it, but she's also, that's her baby. She's not really fully ready, even though my son has expressed that he's ready. And one of the things that really hit on a high note for us with this school was the fact that we consider semi-beefed up security. And what we mean by that is we had looked at a couple, and by we, I'm referring to my wife. She did all the legwork. And so she went out and she went to a lot of these preschools and a lot of these daycares even to just get a feel for the environment. And more often than not, a lot of them are just an open door. You can just walk right in, a complete and total stranger. And maybe it's just living in a small town. Maybe it's just the fact that none of that negativity has really touched this community, that people are like that. But it does raise an eyebrow. I mean, we hear these things in the news. We see these things on television, on Facebook, on all social media platforms. Bad things happen. And it's not to say that by putting these or implementing these protective measures, we feel the neighborhood or the community is bad, but rather taking the precautionary methods to protect ourselves as a community from the just in case. I don't think anybody complains at the fact that they have to put fire alarms in their house. This neighborhood has never had a fire in X amount of years. Why do we need to put a fire alarm in our houses? It's not really a big deal. It's a just in case. Maybe putting a keypad on the door isn't a bad idea. But then maybe you have some parents, they don't want to also feel like they live in that kind of neighborhood. I would like the added sense of security, knowing that when I drop my child off that they're safe. And I didn't really come to terms with that until we had sort of walked around the area when we moved back. And what I mean by that is I went to a lot of the schools out here when I was growing up, and they look a lot different. I mean, different in the sense that clearly there's going to be upgraded playground equipment, there's going to be newer slides, newer swings, or no more monkey bars, all of that stuff comes to pass with the transition of time. But the one major thing that stood out to me was one of the schools that I had gone to as a kid is now completely fenced in all the way around. Now, as a parent, I had fun going to that school after school hours with my parents, playing basketball, uh, kicking the soccer ball around, just having a space, an open space to go and play. And now this one is off limits. Sure, we have a park here that we can go to, but I guess I kind of had it in my mind that I went here and played as a kid with my parents. It would be fun to take my children here so that they can play and have fun as well. It's just a sign of the times though. Things are changing. We have a lot of things happening in schools. School shootings, abductions, just all of these nasty things that are happening in our society throughout the United States. I can't speak on other countries, but only what I hear and what is happening here. And to know that these schools are taking precautionary methods is a great thing. I believe I was in high school when the shooting at Columbine had happened. And it was because of that as students, we no longer had just the earthquake drill and the fire drill, but we now had active shooter drills that we would have to do as students. And yeah, there were hiccups along the way. I think one of the instructors got in trouble because he actually opened the door when somebody knocked. These are all things that are no-nos now because they're happening. And it makes me feel ill to speak about it, but it's a reality. These are things that are happening in schools, the things that are happening to innocent kids. And to know that even on the preschool level, there's precautionary methods in place or things being implemented to protect our little ones, it makes me feel safer. It gives me peace of mind. Nothing is 100%. But to know that when you go out driving and you wear a seatbelt, if you so happen to get into an accident, maybe you're going to be able to walk away from that. But if you just go out there without one, you're playing the odds. And I don't want to play the odds with my children. I play the odds with myself all day long before I ever consider playing the odds with them. So the fact that this school had all this stuff implemented, key codes, whatever, DNA, retina, I'm not fully up to speed on everything, but my wife, it put her at ease. It put me at ease. I'm looking forward to heading out there and checking out the school myself. And other than that, it's just going to be, is our son stoked to be going to school? Is he excited to get involved with other kids his own age? And what's that going to be like for him? I'm excited. I'm really, just really excited. I know I started this podcast saying this is about reading the fine print, and it really is, because even in that, it specified, the list of parents or guardians who are allowed to even pick up your child. I mean, before you could just say you were auntie or uncle and you're picking up your kids in school. This was back when I was a kid. This was still okay. Nowadays, it's like you've gotta have your picture on a wall next to them, and it's like, yeah, you're an okay person to pick them up. And if you're not on that list, It's not happening. You're not picking up that child. And it's those things. It's unfortunate that there had to be these sort of bad things that happened over time in order for schools to be this way now. But I think it's a little bit better. I wish the neighborhoods would just be okay. I wish that people would just not have ill intent, but it's human nature. It's the way of things, and it's the way that the world is shaping up to be. So having that added level of protection, reading through just all of the paperwork that you're signing your name on that line for, because you want to be sure that when you send your child out there, that you've read up on what's in there. I don't want to be surprised. I mean, something as simple as, oh, your child's acting up and we've given more than one warning, so he can't go here anymore. That's also in there. But if I didn't read it and they just give me that call, what am I going to do? I can't fight it because I know now. But if I was ill informed and had a school call me and say that your child can't come here anymore, and then I'm supposed to, charge up and down the hallways and tell everybody like, hey, this isn't the way that things should be. You should be able to go here. What's going on? What's that make me look like? An uninformed parent, a parent who didn't read through everything that was necessary before sending my child to a place where he's going to spend a majority of his day. Because once they enter the school, like the school world, or the school life, they're now spending a majority of their day there with those people, with those children, with their peers, just as we all spend a majority of our days at work and less time together. It's sad, but again, it's the way of things. So read up on stuff. Don't just sign your name on these dotted lines. It's not a terms of service agreement. You should be well versed on paperwork that is regarding your children, even if it's a lot of paperwork, even if the words are little. Read it all, front and back, and make sure you understand it. And if you don't, ask questions. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask your spouse, ask your partner, ask the school. Somebody will explain it to you. You shouldn't be ill-informed. That's all I have for you guys today. Gonna keep it short. I think I keep them all short, but yeah. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen to these podcasts. And as always, till next time, see ya.